Today we're diving into a really big idea, using some great material from the Flying Wings Online School. And it's this: we humans aren't just living on the Earth anymore. We've actually become a force of nature, and we're actively reshaping the planet itself.
I mean, that's a huge statement, right? But it all starts with this simple fact. All of our choices, the energy we use, the cities we build, everything, they all add up. And together, they've become a force as powerful as any volcano or glacier, changing our world at a speed that's, well, it's kind of mind-blowing.
So to really get our heads around this, we have to think like the planet does, in terms of its main operating systems. You've got the atmosphere, which is all the air, the hydrosphere, all the water, the geosphere, that's the land, the rocks, the ground itself, and the biosphere, every single living thing. And as you're about to see, our fingerprints are all over every single one of them.
So, what does it really mean to be a force of nature? Let's break that down. Let's look at the role we play and the ways we're actually engineering our own world, sometimes on purpose and sometimes not so much.
Okay, to see the whole picture, we're going to look at our impact on one system at a time. This is where we can really connect the dots between the things we do and the effects they have.
Let's start with the air, the atmosphere. It's this invisible system we're interacting with every single breath we take. It feels endless, right? But it's actually this surprisingly thin, delicate envelope around our planet. And it's really sensitive to what we do.
The connection here is pretty direct. I mean, our modern world runs on energy, and for now, that mostly means burning fossil fuels. At the same time, we're clearing huge areas of forest. And the result? We get a thicker blanket of greenhouse gases trapping heat. We get widespread air pollution, and our weather patterns get more and more unpredictable. And this isn't some abstract idea happening far away. Think about it. Have you ever seen that hazy, brownish air hanging over a big city on a hot day? That's smog. It's a direct result of traffic and industry, and it has very real consequences for our health.
All right, so from the air we breathe, let's turn to the water we drink, the hydrosphere. This is everything from the deepest oceans to the creeks in your local park to the groundwater flowing right under our feet.
And just like with the air, our actions create a clear chain reaction. Pollution from farms and factories makes its way into our rivers. We're pulling fresh water out of the ground faster than nature can put it back. And of course, accidents happen, like oil spills. All this can contaminate our drinking water, hurt aquatic animals, and even mess with the entire water cycle.
It's a really stark image, isn't it? Waste from just one factory can poison an entire river, totally wrecking its ecosystem and making that water unsafe for every single person and animal downstream.
Our impact doesn't stop with air and water, though. We are physically, literally, reshaping the geosphere, the actual land we live on, at an incredible pace.
We do this through huge projects, right? Like mining for resources, the way our cities are exploding in size, and the massive scale of modern farming. Each one of these things changes the landscape and leads to some pretty serious results. Vital topsoil washes away, we lose fertile land, and the overall health of the ground just gets worse.
Think about it this way. When we clear a forest, we're not just taking out the trees. We're removing the complex web of roots that acts like a natural net, holding all the soil in place. Without that net, a heavy rain can just wash all that soil away, sometimes causing really devastating landslides.
And that brings us to the biosphere, that vibrant, amazing, interconnected web of all life on Earth. From the tiniest bacteria to the biggest blue whales. And yeah, us.
And our impact on the world of the living is, well, it's profound. Whether we're destroying habitats to build things, polluting fragile ecosystems, or taking too much from the land and sea, the results are sadly consistent. We lose a variety of species, extinction rates go up, and entire ecosystems get thrown completely out of whack.
You know, when a forest disappears, it's so much more than just the trees that are lost. It's a home for countless species, birds, insects, you name it, and they're all suddenly left with nowhere else to go. So we've looked at these four systems as if they're in separate boxes. But here it is, this is the most crucial point, the real takeaway. They do not operate alone. A change in one system triggers a domino effect that ripples across all the others. So the big question is, how does that actually work? How can one single action send waves through the entire planet? Let's just trace the dominoes using deforestation as the perfect example. So, it starts in the biosphere when we cut down trees. Right away, that means there's more CO2 in the atmosphere because there are fewer trees to absorb it. Then, the soil that's now exposed starts to wash away, which impacts the geosphere.
and all of that disrupts rainfall patterns, affecting the hydrosphere. Boom! One action, 4 systems impacted. It really is all connected.
Now, it would be really easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of all this. But the story absolutely does not end there. Because if our actions are powerful enough to cause these problems, then they are also powerful enough to be the source of the solutions. We have the power to create positive change.
So how do we start to restore that balance? Through powerful, smart actions. By recycling, we reduce the need to do more destructive mining. By shifting to renewable energy, we begin to let our atmosphere heal. And by planting trees and saving water, we help repair the biosphere and the hydrosphere. Every action is a step back towards equilibrium.
When you boil it all down, we are constantly standing at a crossroads. One path is pollution and deforestation, but the other path, that's conservation and restoration. The future we end up with depends entirely on the choice we make, day in and out.
And that brings us right here, to the big takeaway. Understanding our impact isn't about blaming anyone. It's about recognizing our incredible power and our immense responsibility to shape a better future. So what comes next?
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. We've been talking about huge global systems, but real change, it always starts local. So, what is one environmental issue that's happening right where you live? Because thinking about that, that's the first step toward becoming a positive force for our planet.